Hello, I'm Daisy, and you are in my Learn Tarot playlist, where we have been going through the major arcana and understanding the Fool's journey through that experience. So, the major arcana represents that journey through life and the challenges that afford us lessons so that we can, achieve enlightenment. So, that is pretty much what the Fool has been going through on that journey towards enlightenment. He had just finished visiting with Justice, which was letting him have a better understanding of, and an opportunity as well to catch up on any mishaps of life. If he needed to make amends with things or people, and look, is his life balanced? Is he bringing balance to his life in all areas, which is a challenge for many of us. And to try and live that carefree life yet while meeting the desire to keep expanding and growing and experiencing our oneness with everything, it's a feat indeed for many of us, right? So now with this and the desire for this expanded vision that he acquired at the Wheel of Fortune, he moves on and he comes across a situation now through the learnings and teachings and lessons that will be afforded at the Hanged Man. So, as I've mentioned, it's important to look at your cards, and I would always recommend before you decide to get the little book that it gives you, the little help book there, is look at each card individually and ask yourself, what can I learn from the things and the elements that I find on the face of the card? And because each card, as you can see through these other decks, may look the same, but the colors might be different, and some may have more than others. So it's important to take a look at those elements as well. So the first thing that we hit up, starting at the top here, is the number 12. And when we see the number 12 in numerology, we are looking at a couple elements, because this is a number that you can break down from the complete number of 12 and understanding what it means. So I would recommend, if you haven't done so, get yourself a book on numerology, or possibly, if you can, Google it. You will learn about Pythagoras and also what the energies and vibrations of these numbers 0 through 9 mean. So, and then there are other elements that you can get as you get these other numbers, like the number 12 here. It's about a completed cycle. It's about learning new things. It's about education. So it's about staying alert. So how do we incorporate into this? Well, also understanding the number, it lets us also move into some other aspects of the card itself, into the planetary side. While I don't do astrology, there's a lot of astrological references that you can, glean from it, from knowing some of that aspect as well. So one of the things that we have here is that the Hanged Man is associated with Neptune. And so here, by understanding the energies of Neptune, what's it bringing to this card? A couple things we learn. Neptune is of the element and association with Pisces and water. So all these things is being affected with this situation that now the Hanged Man, the Fool, as the Hanged Man, is going through, because it's bringing up a lot of emotions and maybe a heightened sense of intuition, and maybe daydreaming a little bit too much. So now, instead of being able to move forward, he's hung up on and stuck on in this illusion and fantasy world. So kind of interesting when you think about it that way, right? So the other thing is, when we bring down the number 12 to its basic core number, which is the number 3, here we are dealing with being able to communicate this full thing that's coming up, this vision and this need to do that, and learning. That's the challenge that he is faced with at this moment, is this challenge to express himself in a new way, or being able to express himself completely in what he wants or she wants to do. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. So we could draw other things also from the pose. Center figure telling us, what do we see here? I mean, I see a number 4 here. So what does this mean? Is this has to do with spirituality? You know, do we need to pull back in and just trust God in our journey and stop being so controlling as what we're seeing here? But yet there is no rush to get out of this position here. We don't know. Is he hands free, or is his hands tied in the back, or is he choosing just that to say, hey, I'm just going to hang out over here for a little while, right? And or is this telling us, you know, do we need to kind of have more organization through the number 4, which is bringing us to, you know, create more foundations and to be organized? Is that what is being asked to do here? It's a lot of little things here that's being presented. Okay, so take a look at some of the other features here when we move on. Is how his foot is bounded. His foot is bounded on here. And does that mean that is he still depending on the material world? Is he still stuck on this thing on that he has to have everything? Is he bounded to earth, to the earthly needs and the earthly material world? Or is this telling us that we need to find a balance to bring heaven to earth? So that could be also interpreted in this message as well. So the other thing is that some people see this as a cross here. And has he now come into a situation that he has put himself in a place that he can't get out of? Is his burden so big that he has no way out? And so is this situation now asking him, you need to let go. You need to let go and trust the universe. You need to let go and trust God that he's got your back. So maybe it's asking you to pull back and find that place within yourself so that you can allow God to manifest, you know, through the moments that have happened. Allow God in your life and allow God to flow. And you need to let go the restraints that you have in the situation. So this is a very interesting card here, because one of the things that I picked up on this particular professional deck that I use is that in this deck, the outfit of the hanged man, of the fool here, happens to have the same color of the hermit. So maybe as he moved through the Wheel of Fortune and got all excited with all the stuff that he saw and all the opportunities, but then had to pull it back a little bit with the Justice card, maybe he had overdone it a little bit, and now he's being asked, you need to let go of all that material part and come back to yourself. But we do see a couple things also that are very similar into these two cards. Here, of course, he does not have that monochrome color. Here he has the red and the blues here pulling in from, you know, that maybe again, because the red is being shown on the bottom portion, as you can see on there, on what he was wearing, that maybe he is too passionate about the material gains of what he wants to achieve in life. And with the blue here, that he needs to kind of bring it all in, has to have his purpose and into align his purpose. So we've got the central chakra here with the heart chakra, bringing in the blue of communication, which is the number, which is really a number, the number 3. That's what you get from the number 1 + 2, which is representative of this card here, 12, communicating what you need, but at the same time letting go of what is no longer important in life. And then we pull in the sun that we saw in the Fool's card now is being pulled into the halo and bringing us back to that awareness of spirituality. And that is also mimicked here with the Fool here, and that was by your side, but you kind of now need to bring it back, and you have that grounding you and bringing you back and telling you it's time to bring spirituality into your life and make that connection. Okay, so now that we've pulled through some of the elements with the numbers and the astrological references and the zodiac references, now how do we do a reading with this? How do we interpret all this in here? Well, maybe it's about understanding that your answers will become clear when you let go. Maybe right now you've got so much going on that you need to pull back. It's time for you to do some reflection and change your perspective so that you can see things from a different point of view. And as you do that, you will get insights that maybe you couldn't see from the way that you're looking at things now. Possibly another thing that we get here is that you need to allow a period of retreat, a period of relaxation, so that you can take that step to grow and give yourself that opportunity, not go, 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 go all the time. And understand that whatever you're going through, just like Jesus carried his cross, you need to also understand that this is part of that journey and embracing that. So we see that on both, on the both, you know, that kind of there's a cross there to look at and have a perspective of, why am I going through this? Why is this happening now? Right? So we see that there. So now, how would this be interpreted when it comes in the reverse? Well, maybe you're dissatisfied with life. Maybe some of the things that, you know, you've got too many material concerns that are going on, and this is what's bringing this dissatisfaction for you. Maybe you've got a little difficulty dealing with what's going on, and, you know, instead of being able to let go, maybe you're stepping on that, you know, cross, you know, and you're not like carrying it. You're not like letting it flow, and you're being an obstacle. The progress is now moving forward, and there are some things that are holding you back. Maybe, what is it that you're afraid of? Maybe, you know, you lack a little bit of purpose. Maybe you think that, you know, a little cocky and arrogant, you know, but you don't realize that while you think that you're all this enlightened and everything, you ain't going nowhere, because you're bounded down here, right? So what happens next as the Fool moves on? Who is the Fool going to encounter next? Let's move on to the next video to learn how to embrace what lies ahead on the journey of the Fool.